It's recording. All right, everyone. Welcome to the district board meeting. I'm Alethea Bruzek, Boyle County Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences. I just want to let you know that this meeting is being recorded. And if you would like to make any public comments during the public comments section, you'll need to fill out the public comment form over here on the table before Mr. Swan calls it to order. So I'll give you a couple minutes to do that if you have not already and you would like to speak during the public comment section. Also, I'd like to remind everyone, if you wouldn't mind, to please sign in on the sign-in sheet. And let's see, I believe that's it. Do you have anything else, Rita? All right, does anyone have any public comment, things you want to write down before Mr. Swan calls it to order? Once he does, you can do that. I'll leave it up to you in case you want to give more time for that or go right ahead and get started.
This time we call the meeting order. First item on the business is review the minutes.
So you will find the minutes from the August 7th meeting. I was not able to attend the central call meeting due to last minute work conflict, so I do not have those minutes, but you will find 8/7s here. We'll take a moment to review them. If there are any corrections that need to be made, please allow me to correct that.
Members of the motion,
Make a motion.
been moved and seconded with the minutes to approve. Any discussion? Any corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Treasury report of Commissioner, I think you'll handle that.
Mark, I guess, was not able to be here tonight, so, you have a copy of the budget versus actuals, which is still early in the year. We're only a few months into this fiscal year. Take a look at that. We have received some tax money, so those deposits have been made. We also had made a couple of payments to the university, so you'll see that reflected in salaries and wages as well as fringe benefits. Kind of take a look down through the budget versus actual. Like I said, it's early in the year, so we're still in good shape in all the line items and all the categories at this time. I will point out the travel numbers look a little bit low at this time, but that's because we have not made a quarterly payment to the university yet, so those will catch up. Okay, so that's why that looks a little bit. Do you have any questions on the budget versus actuals? It's not majorly exciting right now, but we have a copy of that. So they're also printed off a copy of the statement of financial position in detail. So in this document, have several pages that lists every deposit, every check that's been written. So you have a copy of that as well. You have any questions over that? Take a look at it.
Jot on our teams with their fundraising sales. Excellent, okay.
Like I said, we're still getting tax revenue dollars in, so those numbers will increase over the next couple of months or so. We'll have another payment, I guess, coming in January. Yeah. Any questions about that?
Make a motion to accept.
I will get you all the one piece that we normally print out that's not printed out. Here's the statement of financial position. Just lists any monies that we have and any assets, liabilities. If any of you want to copy that, just let me know. And make sure. You have the long version.
Anything you made a motion? Consent?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion to accept the third report, say aye. Opposed? Carries. This time we got the 4-H team summit. Our youth group from wage to like presentation.
Right, good evening, everyone. I just wanted to start off and thank you all for having us and allowing us this opportunity to speak in front of you. We're gonna start off with an introduction and then we'll get started. All right, so my name is Trinity Hampton. I'm a junior at Boyle County High School and I'm representing you tonight as the Boyle County Teen Club President.
I'm Tori Wisnett. I go to Danville High School and I'm a senior.
I'm Andrew Carr. I'm a junior from Boyle County High School and I'm the Teen Club Vice President.
My name is Kate Peterson. I'm a junior at Boyle County High School and I'm the Teen Club social media officer.
Hi, I'm Devon Bell. I'm a senior at Boyle County High School, and I am your teen club food chair.
Hi, my name is Kayla Halstead. I am a sophomore at Idaho High School and I'm the secretary.
Great, so hopefully all of you have had at least a chance to take a quick look at the packet that we handed out for our Alaska trip. If not, we're here to give a brief overview of our Alaska trip and what it consists of, and ask you to support our registration fees for the national summit that will be held here.
So like we've introduced ourselves, we are from the 4-H Teen Club. And if you don't know what our teen club is, it is a monthly meeting of teens. And we're able to work together, go on trips and things, and mostly just make our community better. So as you'll see here, we do participate in monthly meetings. Some of them we just directly meet and talk about things just like you all are doing here. And some of them we do things called Teens versus Foods, where we're able to get recipes and different things. That's my job. And we learn about different cultures and we just kind of have a good time. Another thing that we do is we enrich ourselves with leadership kind of seminars and trips. So this is our area teen retreat that a couple of us went on, as you can see in the picture. And that weekend, we just went to another 4-H campus and we were able to have a good time, take some classes, different things, and bring what we learned back here. And lastly, we do a lot of fellowship. We have Christmas parties, we have trips that we go on, we have ice skating, different things like that. In this picture here, we were at Dolly World, which is a trip that we planned, funded, and enjoyed all ourselves with the help of our 4-H agents and volunteers. So like this, the Alaska trip is once again just another opportunity that we'll have to better our teen club, which will end up bettering our community.
So for this big of a trip, we definitely do have to do a lot of fundraising. Some of the things we've done so far is we've been selling chocolate bars and we made a good amount of money off this because everyone loves chocolate, you know. We have done some restaurant nights. We've gone to New Pueblo and we've gone to Zaxby's and we plan to do more of these in the future. And we are planning to get many business sponsorships. And in return for these sponsorships, the businesses will be placed on a banner that we're going to take pictures with around Alaska. So, you know, under the Northern Lights or at the beginning of the daughter, you know, just doing all the cool things that we're going to be able to do. They'll also be on the back of our t-shirts that we receive. And I will be posting thank yous to these businesses. Also, we have done some calendar posts and donut sales, and we'll be having our Easter fundraiser and our Christmas fundraiser to, again, just be making extra money to be able to raise as much as we can for this trip. Overall, I think we've made about $3,000 so far towards this trip.
So at our last Alaska meeting, we were told that we had like 500 presentations over either historical or scientific things about Alaska. And like some examples are like Alaskan culture, the gold rush, some landmarks, the daylight and aurora borealis. And then we're going to have to take these and present them to the other people that are going to Alaska and just to, like prepare them and like teach them for what we're going to see in Alaska.
All right, so the next component of our trip is the overall airline experience. So several of us have never been on a plane that are going, and none of us have ever been as far of a trip of this. And so it's just we're all going to get a good overview of what to pack, what we need for such a lengthy trip as this, and just the whole airport thing. We're going to be able to teach each other about airport security, all the different steps, and we're all just going to be patient with one another and learn how to work in a group setting when things can be stressful, And it's just gonna be an overall great experience, to be able to go this far. And then with traveling to new places, of course, Alaska, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity for all of us, and it's just gonna be beautiful. So first, we're gonna have to adjust, and we'll get to learn about the societal changes of it. So as you probably know, there's probably a big population difference from Alaska to Kentucky. They have they're more independence, and their culture is gonna be completely different. So that's gonna be a very unique experience for us to get to learn about that, to represent our state and our 4-H, and just to be able to meet people from other counties and all across the country. We're gonna be able to build international relationships, and we'll take that back and be able to influence it in our own teen club and then expand it to our community. And then there comes the environmental part of this. There's animals there in nature that most people don't even see other than in a zoo. So we'll be able to observe the natural beauty, learn about some of the scientific parts behind the daylight and the northern lights, and just overall be able to see this. And it's going to be an amazing experience for us.
So is what the trip will actually consist of once we get there will be mostly different tours and classes that the summit will provide. They're just really interesting things that you would probably never get to do here. I don't think anybody here has ever been to an Alaskan hot spring, for instance, but those are all over the place. We're hoping to visit them. And there's several museums that we're going to visit as well as part of the tours. The University of Alaska Museum has so many exhibits about the culture, the wildlife, art, and history there for several hundred years that I personally am very excited to learn about. And the summit workshops themselves, there's so many of them. I couldn't possibly touch on all of them in this slide. So if you want to look at the back of your handout, there's a list of all the classes and stuff. So most of them are broken up into an art course, a STEM course, and an animal sciences course that we will get to pick and choose what we want to learn, how we want to experience our trip to Alaska.
So upon our return to Boyle County, we will be presenting to several groups such as Kiwanis, the Rotary, and the County Extension, where we will discuss our experience and share what we learned. This trip is a great opportunity for each of us to learn about parts of Alaska that we're individually interested in, but it can also help all of us develop lifelong and important skills such as communication and leadership. And this trip can also be great promotion for 4-H. And I think that they can help get a lot more people involved in 4-H and Teen Club, because what else are you gonna get to take a trip to Alaska?
So we want to thank you for your time today. And like we said at the beginning, we are here to ask if you guys will cover our registration fee. We know that you've already budgeted for the year, and this kind of came out after that. But that's what we are asking for, so that we'll be able to take part in this trip.
Thank you guys so much. Do you have any questions?
As maybe so
Yes.
proud.
Wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, y'all need a belt on you.
Some of our covered up, some of the waiting list.
This time,
I make a motion that we approve their registration fee for this once in a lifetime opportunity. 1 second.
Properly second, need more discussion for it. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Good trip, kids.
Ms. Green, go back to you.
All right, so we have the audit completed. You each have a copy of the audit. This is for June 30th, 2022. We'll just kind of go through this if you want. I know you probably. So the audit, you have it in front of you. So the first, on page 1, you have some of the, like the opinions, the basis for opinions, the basics of accounting. So they kind of go through, this is the auditor's report. Then page 2 is the auditor's responsibilities for the audit of the financial statements. So they kind of look through that. On page 3, you have your statement of net position, your modified cash basis as of June 30th, 2022, which kind of lists your assets, your liabilities, your net position. So if we had someone here that actually did this audit, I could probably give you more information about that, but it is neat to look over these. On page 4, we have the statement of activities, our modified cash basis for the year. And you'll notice that everything there is in good standing on those charts. Page 5, we have our statement of assets, liabilities, and fund balance. And again, our net position with modified cash basis governmental activities is in good standing as well. No surprises. On page 6, we have our statement of cash receipts, disbursements, and changes in fund balance. And all of this is done on a modified cash basis, which is kind of how our office handles those funds. We notice the first category there is cash receipts, followed by cash disbursements. And then in deficiency, cash receipts over disbursements is next. And then finally down there, our change in net position, modified cash basis, governmental activities. So a slight change there in our position. Questions since you're reviewing between those pages? Good. All right, moving on, page 7. You will notice there are some definitions, if you will, or what these terms mean on there. What does it mean to be a fund financial statements, and for those just provide information about the district's funds. So it kind of goes through some of those terms that you're going to see on the next few pages. These are just notes for those financial statements. A few things we want to pick out on page 9. After E, the next paragraph, the district has determined that when both restricted and unrestricted funds are available, then they will use the restricted resources first. So I think that's just something that we've always done, and just want to make sure that you all know that that's in there. Management's review of subsequent events, talking about cash and equivalents, page 10, property and equipment, and then a note for long-term debts. So you can kind of see where we are with that. Okay. Page 11, changes in long-term liabilities, note 5 is property tax revenue and property tax calendar. I think this is probably something that you are aware of, that we'll review it because it is important to the budget and therefore affects the audit. Property taxes are collected and remitted to the district by government officials and agencies of Boyle County. Taxes levied annually on September 15th are due by December 31st. So that's where I was talking about the tax revenue is probably coming in over the months. Major tax payments are received November through March. The next one talks about motor vehicle property taxes and telecommunication taxes are collected throughout the year and recognized as revenue received. And those are due at various times. So I just wanted to bring your attention to that. Note 6 is risk management followed by restrictions. And finally, pages 12 and 13. Those are the pages we really want to look at. So this is a letter talking to you, the district board members. I'll kind of let you read through that. I'm going to call your attention to the last paragraph in the section on report on internal control over financial reporting. Our consideration of internal control was for the limited purpose described in the first paragraph of this section. It was not designed to identify all deficiencies in internal control that might be material weaknesses or significant deficiencies. Given these limitations during our audit, we did not identify any deficiencies in internal control that we consider to be material weaknesses. However, material weaknesses may exist that were not identified. Okay, first step. In the next paragraph on report on compliance and other matters, the last couple of sentences, however, providing an opinion on compliance with those provisions was not an objective for our audit, and accordingly, we did not express such an opinion. The results of our test disclosed no instances of non-compliance that are required to be reported under government auditing standards. Really good thing. So, if y'all have any questions, I will certainly try to answer them, but I'm able to share the audit with you. And pending your review tonight and your thoughts and maybe approval of it, then we can proceed.
I don't have a question, but I have a comment for the district. As far as tax collections, the sheriff will start collecting taxes in October instead of November. So for next year's budget, to be able to plan for tax payments to be coming in a little earlier than normal. Started October 15th this year. He tried for October 1st, but we couldn't get all they couldn't get all I still say we because I collected the rates for so long. They couldn't get all the rates in time, so they started October 15th, but next year he plans to start October 1st.
So it can affect our date that we do have our rates into them.
It's still 45 days after the certification.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? So it looks like to me that's what we're doing.
We need to make a motion.
Danny made.
Danny.
To
What was the motion? Sorry.
approve. Any more questions on the forms? And I will say aye. Those opposed?
Now that you all have approved this, I will take and upload this to the DLG, Department of Local Government website. And that will become a public record there. So if anybody would like to see a copy of it, they can go to the website, read it, print it, whatever you want to do. So just give me a couple things to upload.
I've got a hard copy, so that'd be great. Yes.
Thank you.
And we need to return back to the team presentation and revise the motion to include the amount for the registration. We did not do that. We need to include that amount.
You got that?
I do have those notes. The district board budget includes a $6,000 line item for volunteer educational events. That amount was set before we knew what the registration was for this trip. It is $435 per person, and they were requesting $2,610.
What was the total? I'm sorry.
$2,610 for the total volunteers. So do we need to re-motion?
We can amend it.
Okay,
Who made the original motion?
I did.
Just make an amendment.
And now we did to include the full registration amount of $2,610. Good. And Sandra second.
Kenny,
That's-
accept the amendment. Any discussion? All those in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Yes. All right, so there's something that Danielle speak before we move down to the public.
So let's just address the elephant in the room, because I'm pretty sure we have a lot of friends here who have some comments that we're going to be addressing. So before we do so, I would like the board to have some information and continue through this discussion. Okay, so to back up just a little bit, in the October CEC meeting, the following two nominees were recommended from the Ag the A&R representation, Spencer, Gwen, and Barry Welty for the district board. The following two horticulture representatives were recommended from that meeting as well, Kendra Hageman and Preston Miles. I have, just for everybody's information, may I use the computer and the screen? Sure.
Yeah.
Being a boarder, for each district board representative and as president of board.
And I understand that we, the last term was there.
This is the county executive or county extension council. What you're about to hear are those nominations. As soon as everyone's done introducing themselves.
Thank you. What happens when you get the better here? All right, if we can, let's move on to district board nominations. And I understand that we need a nomination from one ag spot and one for.
Okay, so just to clarify that repeated is a nomination for the agriculture spot and the horticulture spot.
I'm ready for the ag spot. I've got, Barry Welty and Spencer Gwen.
So just for those who might not be able to hear, Ray made the nomination for the two ag representatives as the ag representative on the CEC.
All right, thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm Boyle and I for the horticulture spot as candidate and track month.
Again, that was Bo making the horticulture spot representatives. As the horticulture representative on the CEC.
once it's not in. So, would anyone entertain a motion to accept the nominees presented? So, I have a first from Kathy and a second from us. Brian. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Any opposed?
Motion carries by unanimous vote. So those names were then sent to the judge executive, which is Shirley Bottom, via the following email. Happy to pass this down, where it states the A&R representative and horticulture representatives.
I brought my own.
Can you come up behind it by me? Awesome. Okay, so then fast forward to the fiscal court meeting on November 28th, in which the following was discussed.
T-shirts, so I know it's 2 months later, but we finally get everything together. So we did get you your T-shirts. And we did get you a plaque.
So
the sponsor.
Previous presentation.
We presented to the Boyle County Fiscal Court as a vote sponsor for the fiscal sponsoring for the board by show.
Thank you, and thank you for your service. We appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Don't ask.
We're gonna ask you for money today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it very much. Next, we have Extension District Board appointments. I received a list of 4 nominees. I would respectfully request to appoint Spencer Wynn and Barry Williams.
So it should be noted that both Spencer and Barry were the ag representatives, and there were none presented from horticulture, despite having all 4 of those presented.
Okay, okay, a motion by Magistrate Ellis,
Second.
second by Magistrate Gaines. Is there any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, Attorney Herring. You're in the spotlight.
Do we have to act on horticulture representatives?
So here, Mr. Ellis, asks if we need to act on the horticulture representative.
It's just a,
Formality.
well, it's 4 individuals. And I'm pick 2. And then they will assign them to whichever representative they want to be.
Unfortunately, Shirley is mistaken here. And she has stated that there are 4 representatives and she has picked 2 of those. And that we would then assign them to their own categories for the representation from here. So, that has been sent back to us at this point. With no horticulture representation to be had on this council. Excluding 1/4 of what this office offers and what this board serves. And so at this time, we would just like to have an explanation as to why that's occurring.
Rita, or
Yeah.
Natasha, would you all like to address it before I speak?
Sure, we'll be happy to. Okay. So, according to the KRS, the Kentucky Revised Statutes 164.635, it plainly states that on or before November 1st, the Extension Council shall submit to the county judge executive a list of 2 nominees for each member of the appointed to the Extension District Board. There is nothing in the KRSs that says it has to be a particular program area. Of those 4 names submitted, the county judge will pick 2 individuals. I actually think that's incorrect. How's that? If you will refer to KRS 67-710, paragraph 8, the county judge executive shall not be required, but shall use his or her best efforts to balance appointments on a board or commission if the appointments are to be made from nominees submitted by other groups or individuals, and if nominees must have a professional or technical background, expertise, or membership. He or she shall attempt to balance appointments among all such boards and commissions in order to equalize representation of all districts over the entire range of such boards and commissions.
What was that? KRS?
KRS 67710, powers and duty of the judge executive.
That is not one that is organized by Extension. That does not represent Extension.
It does not say that it is not. We are a board within this county.
We are a special district. It does not relate to us.
KRS 164-605-675 pertains to the extension, district cooperative extension service law. So we are governed under that particular KRS. I also have a letter here from a former judge executive, Tony Wilder, that was on behalf of all of the representative programs here before horticulture was an established program here. That simply requested that the judge executive equally distribute those names among the district board. And that was in 2006. And that policy has been understood between judge executive and our council ever since. In fact, even was able to get
Here's a full distribution of all of those representations within our understood agreement with the judge executive that for the first time in 15+ years is no longer being funded.
So here's the deal, guys. Our county judge and our fiscal board did nothing wrong. There is nothing out of line. The county extension council is made up of representatives from all of our program areas. And that group is concerned with programming. So it is really important that all the program areas be represented on the CEC. The district board, you were charged with handling the financial affairs of the office. And there is nothing in the KRS that says it has to be representative. Now, historically, if that's been something that possibly has been done, there's nothing in the KRS laws that says it has to be in a certain program area. As long as the members of the district board are familiar with the extension and they understand how to handle the monies of the office, that is your primary duties. Your duties are not for programming. Your duties are for financial oversight of the extension tax district.
And since my time on this board, we have yet to vote for something financially to support the agriculture department that we have in fact done so that's what we work with the department.
So I would think going to be represented. There is nothing in the KRS that says they have to be represented. There is, of the 4 names, our county judge will pick 2. And that is according to the KRS, the Kentucky revised statutes.
I would like to make a motion that we respectfully request the fiscal board to reconsider their nominations and distribute equally based on a mutual agreed respecting decision.
There's a second to that request. There's a second to that request. Second to that request. Say nothing. Request. Yes.
It's appointed, Sterling.
Well, I'd like to address, on April the 14th of this year, I sent a request to the Attorney General because I was getting conflicting information about how to appoint board members to taxing districts. And in that letter, I asked for them to clarify the Kentucky revised statutes regarding final authority in the naming of board member nominations to special taxing districts. Specifically, our Boyle County Fiscal Court readings and various statute references, including but not necessarily limited to those below, indicate to us that the court had final authority in this vital fiduciary process of naming board members to special taxing districts currently in existence in Boyle County. Please advise our fiscal court on your findings of statutory fact and authority as concluded by your Attorney General Office colleagues upon evaluating the following KRS references. And we've referenced KRS 65-182, procedures for creating taxing district, KRS 164.635, extension board, membership, appointment, term, vacancy, and removal of members, KRS 164.655, extension board powers and duties, and KRS 67.715, reorganization powers. The response that I received back from the Attorney General on April the 14th, I sent the letter on March 31st, received the response on April 14th. The Office of the Attorney General has received your request for advisory opinion. In your request, you ask whether a fiscal court has the final authority to appoint members of an extension board. KRS 164-635 provides for the method of appointing members of the board. Paragraph 1, appointment of the 6 members other than the county judge executive to the extension board shall be made by the county judge executive of the county in which the extension board is located. These appointments shall be made with the approval of the fiscal court from nominations submitted by the extension council in the county in which the said district is located. Said council, to be eligible to submit nominations, shall be organized and functioning in accordance with procedures approved by the director of extension. Although an extension council may, under the appropriate circumstances, submit nomination, KRS 164-635, paragraph 1, vests final authority for appointing members of an extension board and the county judge executive with the approval of the fiscal court, which is what we did. And those two nominees can be placed on either program area that the district sees fit.
Without representation previously.
They can be represented with A&R and they can be represented with horticulture, either one.
So that's equivalently saying that I could represent your job. I'm not qualified to be the judge executive. You are. Those two people are not
You
qualified.
cannot trump KRS.
I'm not saying that we can trump KRS, but we do have a mutual understanding in this town that this board is represented by equal representation per the documentation that I have here. So for the first time in 15 years,
I don't believe last year, there was any decision made with the prior administration, because that fell in my lap when I took office.
yeah, my nomination.
So.
But you also didn't nominate me or approve me despite having told me to my face that you were going to do so. You passed it on to UK to allow them to make that decision.
That's because it was after December the 15th.
Mhm. But you told me to my face in the meeting that you would be nominating me. And then I came to the next meeting and I showed up and you just passed that back on to UK. So you haven't made the decision last year,
No, wasn't my decision to make. It was supposed to have been done with the previous administration.
which the previous administration failed to do their job as well.
So it's not been consecutive.
Well, it was consecutive in my argument that it was equally represented because the nominations came from agriculture and 4-H, and Danny and I are the agriculture and 4-H representatives. from
Well,
last
the
year.
two representatives, the two nominees that were approved are both well qualified for either program area. So either one could serve on A&R and either one could serve on horticulture. Because they are both well respected and they're well qualified.
But neither currently serve on horticulture's advisory. Council. So they have no standing basis for the horticulture department in this. It's just pretty disappointing, Julie, you know?
Pretty disappointing that you don't take them and replace them. where they
Well,
need to be.
you've made your decision, so we
Yeah.
have you at this point. I'm just disappointed in your leadership at this point.
Sorry to hear that.
I'm sure you are.
I have a whole room full that are proud of my leadership.
Well, I have a whole email chain that's so.
I have several. Probably.
We're gonna move on.
Thank you.
I would just like to make a point, if that's okay.
I'm not sure.
Most of our county offices do, you're all very blessed to have a horticulture program here, and horticulture agent. But most of our county offices across the state do not have that luxury. And that program is sponsored and taken care of through the agriculture and natural resources agent across the state. So the representatives of the Agriculture and Natural Resources Advisory Council would also understand the majority of those things, not trying to say that that's less than, but they would understand the farming aspect and the producing aspect of the horticulture needs of the program as well, because it happens in, I'm not sure how many horticulture agents we have across the state, but it's not a large amount. So I don't want anyone to feel like their needs are not going to be met or covered. You still got your program advisory council and all of that. This is just the financial arm, and it will be approved just like any of the other program areas would be.
I sincerely hope that to be the case, but I have my thoughts.
Jason Coleman. We're gonna allow 3 minutes on each of the speakers. Jason here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'll be very quick from back here. I think, Judge Bottoms represented what she had to say and doing the job that she needs to do, and she's doing a good job at that. I'll say if there's any disappointment, it's the lack of respect from certain members on this board that continue to call her instead of getting her proper title. She's earned that title, she's worked hard for it. So I have, no matter how petty the feelings are, that you still give her the respect of the executive, which she is. So.
Right.
Will Stout. Yes, sir, Mr. Swanson. I would agree. Can I speak here? All right, thank you all for having us this evening. I just wanted to say a couple things, kind of in a grand scheme of things, when it comes to appointing, people to a board, especially like the district board, I wish we could find people that weren't so dead set on particularly just A&R or just FCS or just 4-H or just horticulture. I think when we look for leaders that go on the district board, we need to find leaders that maybe represent more than one of those fields. And Judge, I think you found two. I think you've got some on the board too, but I think you've pointed to more. I think Mr. Welty comes from a cattle and grain background, but he's also comes from an education background where he's worked with kids for 30 years and retired from education. Spencer Gwynn, he's got some great leadership qualities. He runs a fantastic grain and beef cattle operation, but they've also got a fantastic high tunnel horticulture side to the farming operation. That they do a great job. Him and his wife Carla do a great job marketing produce and marketing meat and working with, I'd say, Alexis in the past, the horticulture agent, to make sure that the management on their farm has what it needs to make themselves successful. They both Spencer and Mr. Welty had probably got a little bit of 4-H interest as well, because they've got young kids or young grandkids that are in and out of their homes that could or could not be, a part of the 4-H program. So I think it's really cool, truly, Judge, that you've appointed two folks that I think will represent our community very well and do a really good job. Thank you.
David Williams. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My comment would be that volunteerism and serving as a public official are very demanding, patient requiring positions. We are fortunate in this community, as all communities are, to have people that are willing to serve as volunteers. Volunteerism has those times that are very enjoyable, and there are those times that are very disappointing and frustrating when things are decided that are contrary to your personal opinion. I believe you need public officials to deal with that on a consistent basis. We're very fortunate to have this body to serve in their capacity. And we're fortunate to have a community that allows an open forum like this to have civil dialogue and discuss matters that need to be discussed for the community's best interest. Volunteerism requires a thorough understanding of governance, of the structure of the institution to which you have volunteered. It is sometimes in my experience, easy for volunteers to have not a good, thorough understanding of the governance structure of the organization for which they are volunteering. When you study the requirements of sitting on the district taxing board, the extension district board, this board has governance responsibility over the extension council. So persons that sit on this board have to understand that they are functioning at a higher level of responsibility, and territorialism should not be present. This board is supposed to be above and beyond any specific subject area, and primarily has responsibility for the financial affairs of the taxing district. So we find ourselves in a situation here where something has changed. I'm sure the court and Judge Bottom has done their best to make appointments of two highly qualified people. This board is doing the best that it knows how to do to serve the community. We are fortunate to have both groups, and I hope that we can leave tonight with an understanding that our focus should be what is good for the community and to continue to strive to work together in harmony for the best interests of our kids, our families, and the communities that we live in. Thank you.
Last is grades. So that's me, the last set in the back of the room. I just came to clarify a couple of things because this whole thing got blown out of proportion today. People need to defend the judge. She's capable of defending herself. I've known her for years. That's not a problem. The problem is I submitted the two members for A&R with the understanding that one of those would be picked because there's not two better guys to be appointed to that board than either one of those. I've known them, high values for them. That's what they were. Now, we said in the CEC meeting, of volunteers, as Dr. Williams said, and no one mentioned, the judge did not mention, Rita did not mention, that it would be a group of 4 names submitted, 2 of which were not even mentioned in the fiscal court, by the way. Nobody mentioned there'd be a 4, that they would pick from the 4, okay? We've always done it since I've been on the board. Here's your 2 for A&R, here's this. You pick your choice with the other one being the alternate for that. Now, granted, it's not a KRS rule, it's an understanding. If they were gonna be different while they were present, we probably should have been known, we could have nominated different. Because we as volunteers for the CEC have the best interest of the county in heart. That's why I nominated Spencer Quinn and Barry Welty for the choices. Either one of them would have been excellent. I'm not saying neither one of them shouldn't be there, but due to the past history, that is not the way it's been done. Now, granted, things change, but a little heads up would have been nice for the board of volunteers when we're trying to make this county the best it can be. And here lately, due to certain task force being formed and people sitting on groups and everybody stabbing everybody in the back, this county has been put to shame, is all I've got to say about this group. Thank you. That's all the public comments. Fair motion to adjourn.
I would like to motion to adjourn. Second.
Then probably second. This meeting is now adjourned.
Instead of playing.
I'll let you do it.